Morning to all. I'm very much thankful to the management, the principal, and the organizers of this webinar, in particular Dr. Murugan, who is associated with me, and other organizers. I'm very much thankful to you for inviting me to participate in this webinar as a resource person. And I am thankful to Dr. Edmina for her nice introduction about me. Thank you very much. And I'm thankful to the participants, those who are attending in this webinar. Now, we are entering in the topic, our topic. Today we are discussing about development of domination parameters in graphs. What is the graph? We know. The graph is a collection of vertices and edges. Graph, we are having different mathematical definition, but I am saying here the graph G is a collection of vertices and edges. Usually, the vertex set is denoted by capital V, and the edge set is denoted by capital. The number of vertices in a graph is denoted by n, small n we are using, and the number of edges in a graph is denoted by small m according to Charter. So consider this example. So we are starting from some basic concept. Consider this example. This is a graph G. It contains 6 number of vertices and 8 number of edges. So n equal to 6 here and m equal to 8. What is the meaning of degree of a vertex? The number of edges incident with a particular vertex V is called the degree of that vertex and is denoted by degree of V. I'm using this notation. The maximum degree of a graph is denoted by capital delta and the minimum degree is denoted by small delta. In the above example, you have to see here degree of the vertex A. How many edges incident with this vertex? You can see 3 edges are incident with this vertex A. So degree of A equal to 3. You can see degree of D, number of edges incident with this vertex D is 4. So degree of vertex D is 4. Similarly, you can see degree of F, only 1 edge incident with F. So degree of F equal to 1. So like that, we can find out all the degrees of any vertex, given vertex. So among these degrees, so each and every vertex we can find out the degree. What is the maximum degree? Already I told you it is a capital delta we are using. In this example, delta. What is the delta? Maximum degree is 4. So delta of G equal to capital delta of G equal to 4. Maximum degree is 4 and minimum degree small delta is 4. So any vertex having degree 0 is called isolated vertex. So isolated vertex, it is not adjacent to any other vertices in that graph. So degree of 1, the vertex of degree 1 is called a pentant vertex. So pentant vertex means degree 1. In a tree means connected acyclic graph. In a tree, pentant vertex is called a leaf. We can say leaf. Leaf means a vertex with the degree 1. The vertex adjacent to the pentant vertex is called a support vertex. Okay, these are the basic idea. Everyone knows this. What is the meaning of neighborhood set of a vertex? Suppose we have a set of vertices, some set of vertices A. So A is a subset of the vertex set. The neighborhood set of A, we denote this by NA. N, this bracket, open bracket we are using, NA, is a set of vertices which are adjacent to some vertices in A. The closed neighborhood set of A is denoted by this notation NA, but we are using this bracket. Closed A is open neighborhood set NA union A we have. So see the previous example. I am taking the vertex set A is containing the vertices vertex A and E. Vertex A, this vertex I am taking is a vertex A, and this is a vertex E. These two vertices I am taking. A is a set containing these two vertices. What is NA? So NA means set of vertices which having neighbors in A. So this you have to see this vertex C, it is available in NA because it is adjacent with A. This vertex D is available in NA because it is adjacent with A and E, and this vertex B is also available in this vertex. So all other vertices V minus A no here. So remaining vertices all are available in NA here. So NA is a set containing the vertices here B, C, D, and F. NA is a set of vertices containing the vertices B, C, D, and F. For this A, what is A? I took here small a and E. These two are the vertices. Okay, suppose I am considering the vertices A and E, A and C. It is available in A. Suppose we have another one set A, which containing these two vertices, A and C. So A is a set containing two vertices, A and C. What is NA here? What is NA here? So B is a vertex which is adjacent with A. So B should be available in this NA. D should be available in this NA. E cannot available because E is not adjacent with A. F is not adjacent with A. But this A is adjacent with C. So A small a, the vertex A is available in NA, and vertex C, it is adjacent with A. So C is also available in NA. So what is NA here? The vertex set A, B, C, and D. It is NA. Okay, so we can understand easily what is neighborhood set now. So neighborhood set is a set of vertices having neighbors in A, at least one neighbor in A. So this only I told here. Consider the previous example, the same thing. So what is the neighborhood set? We can now we can enter in our topic dominating set. So yesterday, Dr. Mahadevan clearly explained about the dominating set with the application part. A lot of application he explained in the yesterday talk. How we are applying domination in different fields. In particular, he said about a digital web. Okay, so dominating set he explained application. But today we are not thinking about the application part. We are going about the theory part, how we are developing domination parameter in one particular case or different cases like that. So for this, we need the definition first. What is the dominating set? So dominating set is a subset of the vertex set V. So it is a vertex set basically. So it is a set of some vertices. So I denote this by capital S. So a set S, which is subset of a vertex set V of a graph, some graph. So when we say that this vertex set S is a dominating set, so we can find out the complement of the vertex set S. So what is the complement of the vertex set? V minus S. So the vertex not available in S, it is a complement of S. The vertex not available in S, we are finding each and every vertex in V minus S. So each and every vertex not available in S as at least one neighbor in S. As at least one neighbor in S. So every vertex in V minus S is adjacent to a vertex in S. Then that set S is called dominating set. Yesterday we studied clearly about this. So the same thing we can have in another one way. Already I gave the definition for neighborhood set. Now S is a set. When we say that S is a dominating set, in different way we can define it. So S is a set, we are finding NS. NS. So closed neighborhood set of S, it is NS. Okay, so if this NS equal to V, if this NS equal to V, then S is called dominating set. Another one definition in the form of neighborhood way. So NS closed neighborhood set, NS equal to the vertex set V, then S is called a dominating. So previous example we have, now to see A equal to AE, I'm taking NA is B, C, D, F. NA, this is the open neighborhood. B, C, D, F. So now I'm finding close to NA mean this NA, open NA, union A. So what we are getting? A, B, C, D, E, F. All the vertices we are having, it is equal to V. So this A and E, the vertex set A, capital A, is a dominating set in the previous example. One dominating set. Okay, so now we have to think about this graph. It is a cycle on 7 vertices, C7. It is a cycle on 7 vertices. So what is the dominating set here? So a lot of dominating set we can find out. What is the dominating set here? Before that, I missed one idea. So a lot of dominating set we can find out now. Among the dominating set, which dominating set having minimum cardinality we can identify. Which dominating set having minimum cardinality, that is a number. One number we have. That cardinality is a number. That number is called domination number. The minimum cardinality of your dominating set is called a domination number of the corresponding graph. So now we can have this example, C7 the cycle. So you have to see it containing 7 vertices, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So this blue color vertices you have to see A, D, F. I am taking A, D, F is a set S. Now remaining vertices, what is the remaining vertices? This black color vertices, B, C, E, G. So B is adjacent with A, C is adjacent with the D, E is adjacent with the F, G is adjacent with the F and E. Okay, so every vertex in V minus S has a neighbor in S. That is why this set is a dominating set. Is it minimum dominating set? So is it minimum? How we can check? Suppose I have to take one vertex A, it dominating maximum 3 vertices. You have to see one vertex A, it dominating means the vertex itself and the neighbor also you have to take. So the A is a vertex dominating A itself, G and B. So one vertex dominating maximum of 3 vertices. So 2 vertices dominating maximum of 6 vertices. So but now here in this example we have 7 vertices. So at least 3 vertices we need for dominating whole vertices. Hence gamma is equal to 3 here. So minimum 3 vertices we require. Minimum 3 vertices we require. In this example, you can see one big graph. This graph containing 17 vertices, A to Q. So 17 vertices we have. So this blue colored vertices you have to see. Blue colored vertices I am taking in years. Black colored vertices I am taking in V minus S. So every vertex in V minus S has a neighbor in S. Easily we can identify. And this is a minimum cardinality because you have to see this E pendant vertices available. This pendant vertices G is a pendant vertex. Mean for dominating G, either we have to take E or G. So I am taking E. So this for dominating I, we have to take either K or I. So we have to take K. For dominating M, either we have to take L or M. So I am taking M. So for dominating Q, we have to take either Q or P. So I am taking P. For dominating A, either A or B we have to take. So I am taking B. So it is a minimum. Less than this is not possible. So 5 vertices is required for dominating this graph. So what is gamma of this is equal to gamma of the graph equal to 5. Gamma of Kn, this is a well-known graph we have. Kn means complete graph on n vertices. What is the meaning of complete graph? Every pair of vertices are adjacent.
Ma,
so complete graph means every pair of vertices are adjacent. So only one vertex is enough for dominating all the vertices. Similarly, already I gave the example for cycle C7. So what is the domination number for C7 is 3. In general, we have gamma of Cn equal to upper integral n by 3. Gamma of Pn, Pn means path on n vertices. Gamma of Pn equal to upper integral n by 3. And gamma of complete bipartite graph K R comma S equal to 2 when R and S are greater than or equal to 2, otherwise 1. So these are the basic example for domination number. After that, what the researchers are doing, they are imposing condition on S. Already we have S is a vertex set which satisfying only one condition. What is the condition? Every vertex in V minus S has a neighbor in S. So that is only one condition, then it is called dominating set. Now the researchers are imposing condition on S. Okay, so now we have to take another condition. Already on satisfying one condition, S is a dominating set, it's satisfying dominating property. So now imposing another condition. What first example we have? It is called independent dominating set. What is the meaning of independent set? We know. So every pair of vertices are non-adjacent. Every pair of vertices, any two vertices you have to take, these two are non-adjacent in that graph, in the induced graph of the set. Okay, so a set is independent or stable if no two vertices in it are adjacent. A set is independent means no two vertices are adjacent. That type of vertices we have to collect and form. Now, S is a dominating set as well as independent. A dominating set as well as independent set is called independent dominating set. So, what is the extra condition we imposed? Independent property we are imposing. So, every pair of vertices are non-adjacent and every vertices are dominating all the vertices of the graph. Independent and dominating, it is called independent dominating set. And lot of independent dominating set we can find out, more than one independent dominating set we can find out means, then among that we are finding which dominating set is having minimum cardinality. It is easily find out. So the independence number, independent domination number of a graph G is denoted by I of G, is the minimum size of an independent dominating set. So in this example, the previous example, you have to see the same gamma. Gamma is 5 already I told you, E, K, L, P, B. These are the vertices available in the dominating set ES, blue color vertices. Okay, so this you have to see, this B and P are non-adjacent and it is non-adjacent to any other vertices. But you have to see E, K, L. This K is adjacent with L, E is adjacent with K. So this is not independent set. So this set yes containing blue color vertices is not independent set. So we have to find out another one set. So now we have to see, instead of K, I'm taking this I and J, these two vertices. Now blue color vertices. Now you have to see all this set of vertices, blue color vertices. So no two vertices are adjacent here. So it is a independent set as well as the dominating set, So it is an independent dominating set. And automatically it is a minimum cardinality, independent dominating set, and hence I of G equal to here 6. Similarly, in the vertex set, in the dominating set, previous definition, we are introducing the or we are imposing the condition for independent property. Now we are imposing the condition of connectedness. Okay, so S is a dominating set. Then Using yes, we are drawing the graph. It is called induced subgraph or induced graph induced by yes. I denote this by this notation. Okay, this notation. So induced graph induced by yes. That graph, yes, induced graph is connected. Then the dominating set is called the connected dominating set. Okay, so a dominating set S of a graph G is called a connected dominating set if the induced graph induced by S is connected. So among lot of connected dominating sets for particular graph, we can find out the minimum cardinality connected dominating set. That minimum cardinality is called a connected domination number, and we are denoting this by gamma C of this notation. So like this, we are imposing, first one, we are imposing the condition independentness. Next, we are imposing the condition on yes connected. Next, connected is not. So this example we have. Okay, it is gamma. Gamma is here 5 already we have, but it is not connected. But what is gamma C? Gamma C is 7 here. Gamma C is 7. These blue color vertices we have to take in any minimum connected dominating set. Next, we have to consider about total dominating set. Previously, first definition, what is the condition we are imposing? It is a independence property we are imposing. Second definition, we are imposing the condition connectedness. Now, third one, connectedness is not a problem here. It is either connected or disconnected, not a problem. But the graph, induced graph, does not contain any isolated vertex. Dominating set we have, S is a dominating set. Then we can find out the induced graph of the dominating set. Yes, that induced graph has no isolated vertex. Then that dominating set is called total dominating. Okay, so a lot of dominating set we can find out. Among these, each dominating set having minimum cardinality. So that minimum cardinality is called the domination number, and the minimum cardinality of the domination number is called as a total domination number, and it is denoted by gamma T of, and it is denoted by gamma T of. So in this example, again, same example I'm giving to you. This E is not isolated. This S is a blue color vertex. It is a dominating set already we have. But E is not isolated because adjacent with the K. K is not isolated adjacent with the E and L. L is not isolated. But you have to see B and P are isolated. B and P are isolated vertex. If you want to avoid these two are non-adjacent, so it is isolated vertex. So S containing isolated vertex here. So what we can do, extra one vertex I am taking is O as the extra vertex. Now we have to see induced graph of S is the graph like this. This graph, sorry, this graph we are getting, and this graph we are getting. Okay, so here one P3, path on 3 vertices, here one path on 3 vertices we are getting, so no isolated vertex. So what is gamma T of G here? It is 6. Gamma T of G equal to 6 here. So previous all the definitions, we are imposing condition on yes. Similarly, we can imposing condition on complement of yes also. It is called V minus yes. Previous first dominating set, what I told you, independent dominating set, we are imposing condition on yes. Second dominating set is a connected dominating set, imposing condition on yes. Third one is a total dominating set, we are imposing condition on yes. Similarly, now we are imposing condition on V minus S, complement of. So same condition we can complement of S is independent set, independent complement, independent dominating set. Any name we can give. And complement V minus S is connected mean complement connected dominating set or non-split dominating set they are saying. And complement here the third one is complement V minus S contains no isolated set. Then it is called a restrained dominating set. So a dominating set S of your graph G is called a restrained dominating set. So shortly we can say RD set. If the induced graph V minus S, so using V minus S, we are drawing the graph, has no isolated vertex. So this type of dominating set is called restrained dominating set. So the minimum cardinality of a restrained dominating set is called the restrained domination number, and we denote this by gamma R. So in this example, you have to see in the cycle C7, I'm taking again. So I'm taking the blue color vertices A, I'm taking D, I'm taking E, I'm taking. So S containing the vertices A, D, E. Okay. So what is the V minus S? V minus S contain G and F. Here B and C. So you have to see automatically what is the induced graph. B, C are adjacent. So no isolated vertex. G and F are adjacent, then also no isolated. So V minus S contains no isolated vertex, and already we know gamma of any cycle is 3. So here also gamma R of G equal to gamma R means restrained domination. So same example now. One cycle C7 I am taking, V of G containing the vertices A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. S is a vertex A, D, F. S is a vertex set containing the vertices A, D, F. Is a dominating set of minimum cardinality, and hence gamma equal to 3. Already we verified this. Okay, C7 gamma equal to 3. So A, D, F. Now I am finding for this S, NS I am finding. What is NS here? NS means the neighbors of the vertex available in S. So G is neighbor of A, B is neighbor of A, C is neighbor of D, E is neighbor of F. So what are the vertices? B, C, E, G. B, C, E, G. These are available in NS. And NS containing isolated vertex. Am I correct? This NS, E is a isolated vertex. E is a isolated vertex in NS. NS and G is also isolated vertex. B and C are non-isolated vertex in NS. B is available in NS, E is available in NS, E is available in NS, G is available in NS. E and G are isolated vertex in NS. B and C are non-isolated vertex. So in this example, NS has isolated vertices. Suppose we are considering another one example. This is called a friendship graph. Okay, so this graph, what is the domination number? Only one vertex is enough. This vertex I am taking, this is enough. This vertex is dominating all the vertices. Okay, so S containing only one vertex, I am taking this vertex. What is in V minus S? This vertex available in V minus S. These two vertices are available in V minus S. These two vertices are available in V minus S. This outside vertices all are available in V minus. Okay, so now what is NS? NS is also neighbor of S means this outside vertex NS and V minus S are same in this example. So what is NS? NS containing these outer vertices. What is the induced subgraph of NS now? Induced subgraph of NS means 4 times K2. This 1, 2, 3. 4 times K2 I am getting. 4 times K2 I am getting. So it is a disconnected graph, but this graph not containing isolated vertex. Previous example C7, the graph NS containing isolated vertex. But this graph, the NS does not have isolated vertices, but the NS is disconnect. NS is disconnect. So using these two concepts, we are developing the new domination parameter.
Your microphone is unmuted.
Okay, so first domination parameter we are introducing from there. It is called neighborhood connected dominating. Already dominating set, yes, we have. We are imposing condition either on S or V minus S, previous example of the dominating set, various dominating sets. But now we are imposing condition on NS. We are imposing condition on NS, neighborhood set of S. So S is a dominating set. We can identify NS, neighborhood set of S, open neighborhood set. Then NS we are finding induced graph. So NS we are finding induced graph. That NS should be connected. The induced graph of NS should be connected. Then the new dominating set is called the neighborhood connected dominating set. Shortly we can say NCD set. Shortly we can say NCD set. Okay. So again, the minimum cardinality of the NCD set is called the neighborhood connected domination number, and we denote this by gamma NCR. Okay, so in NS, the induced graph is connected, then S is called a neighborhood connected dominating. So the same thing we have to extend another one definition. Before that, we have the example. Okay. So what is the example here? What is the domination number for this graph? Already I told you, this is our vertex friendship graph. Okay. So in this graph, gamma equal to 1. This gamma equal to this vertex. What is NS? NS is disconnected. Already we explained. Okay. So when gamma equal to 1, so one vertex is not sufficient for dominating this all the vertices as well as NS is connected, not possible. So we have to include extra one vertex in S. This vertex I have to include. So what is the neighbor set? Yes, now the neighborhood set is whole set V we are getting. The neighborhood set is whole set V we are getting. So whole set V mean it is connected. So what is gamma NC of G? Gamma NC of G equal to 2 here. Gamma NC of G equal to 2. The same way, similar way, in NS, we are imposing another condition. S is a dominating set. We can find out NS. If NS does not have isolated vertex, NS has no isolated vertex, then S is called neighborhood total dominating set. So S is a dominating set. S is a dominating set with induced NS has no isolated vertex. Then S is called a neighborhood total dominating set. So minimum cardinality of your neighborhood total dominating set is called neighborhood total domination number, and it is denoted by gamma NTR. Gamma NTR. So in this example, you have to see gamma of G equal to 5. Already I gave the same example. Gamma of G equal to 5. But here you have to see what is NS. In this example, what is NS? So these are all the vertices we have. So NS mean in this here this we have NS. It is available in NS. It is available in NS. Except this is available in NS. Remaining all these vertices except this A, X and Q. Other than these two vertices, remaining all the and P. P is also not available in NS, and B also not available in NS. A not available, B not available, P not available, this O not available. Okay, so in NS. So like that. So in this graph, A is NS. This is A is available. This 1 minute. I'm giving delete this. So A is available in NS. A is available in NS. How to see? Yes, it is adjacent with B. C and D are available. These are available in NS, and these are available in NS. And these also blue color vertices are also available in NS. So what are the vertices not available in NS? O is available in NS. What are the vertices not available in NS? N is available in NS. Q is available in NS. This these are the vertices available in NS. So you have to see this O is isolated vertices in NS. Q is isolated vertex in NS. A is isolated vertex in NS. So NS containing isolated vertex. So what is our definition? NS don't have the isolated vertex. Then only it is called a neighborhood total dominating set. Neighborhood total dominating set. So what I have to include here for this, extra this vertex O I have to include. Now we are having automatically all the vertices should be available in NS. All the vertices. So NS equal to capital V here. Automatically it is a connected graph here. At the same time it containing no isolated vertex. So gamma NT of G equal to 6 here. Gamma NT of G equal to 6. In this graph you have to see. Previously in this example, what is the gamma I told you? Gamma is only one vertex I have to select. This vertex I am selecting. Then it is only one vertex available in S. So gamma equal to 1. And gamma NC, neighborhood connected dominating set, means for neighborhood connected, we have to take another one vertex also. Gamma NC equal to 2 V2. But now we need NS contains no isolated vertex. So here, what is NS here in this example? What is NS? This vertices are available in NS. These two vertices are available in NS. And here, these two vertices are available in NS. And these vertices are available in NS. So all outer vertices are available in NS. And it is not containing any isolated vertices. Okay. So now only one vertex is sufficient to dominate all the vertices. At the same time, the NS containing no isolated vertex. So gamma NT of G is equal to gamma NT of G equal to 1. So in this talk, we are discussing about this neighborhood total domination number. Okay, so one domination parameter we are introducing means we are imposing condition, any condition on S. So we are getting a new domination parameter. How we are, what type of theorems, what type of property we are going to verify? We have to think about. So what is first observation here I have? Let S be a NTD set of G. So I am taking one NTD set. Entity set means NS, induced NS has no isolated vertex. So induced NS should not have isolated vertex, means single vertex is not possible. So NS is not a singleton set. So NS containing at least two vertices. So this is the first observation. Cardinality of NS is greater than or equal to. And since every dominating set or every neighborhood total dominating set is a dominating set. Every neighborhood total dominating set is a dominating set. So we have the condition gamma NT equal to gamma. Gamma NT equal to gamma. And if S is a total dominating set or a connected dominating set of cardinality greater than 1, then what is NS you can see? Any total dominating set. This is any total dominating set. Mean what is NS? Automatically we are getting whole set B. Suppose S is a connected dominating set of cardinality more than 1, minimum 2 vertices available in any connected dominating set. What is the NS we are having? It is also. So using this concept, we have the relation gamma NT less than or equal to gamma T. Gamma T means total domination number and gamma NT means neighborhood total domination number. So neighborhood total domination number of any graph is less than or equal to total domination number of that graph. And gamma NT is less than or equal to gamma C. Gamma C means connected domination number. Gamma NT means neighborhood total domination number. So this relation we get. When we are getting this relation, gamma C is greater than 1. It is not greater than or equal to greater than 1. It is greater than 1. Every RD set means restrained dominating set in a graph. Every restrained dominating set means what is a restrained dominating set? Complement containing no isolated vertex. So complement contains no isolated vertex means automatically NS contains no isolated vertex. So every restrained dominating set is neighborhood total dominating set, and hence gamma nt less than or equal to gamma r. So what is the open problem you may have from this? When these two are equal, gamma nt and gamma t are equal, we can try. When gamma nt equal to gamma c, we can try. When gamma nt equal to gamma r, we can try. These three, and here also gamma nt equal to gamma, still it is an open problem we have. Okay, this from this we have minimum four problems. Gamma nt equal to gamma, we can check one problem. Gamma nt equal to gamma t, we can check one problem. Gamma nt equal to gamma c1, we can check, and gamma nt equal to gamma. So four problems minimum we have. Now, what is the relation already we have? I mean, taking the relation, first theorem, using that relation. Gamma is less than or equal to gamma nt. Gamma nt is less than or equal to gamma nc. Gamma nc is less than or equal to 2 times gamma. So we have the first theorem. Gamma nt less than or equal to gamma nc. We are not entering in the proof. Only the theorem statement I am explaining. So we have a chain relation between gamma, gamma nt, gamma nc, and 2 times gamma. So this gamma nt and gamma nc are in between gamma and 2 gamma. So suppose I'm giving some three numbers, three positive integers, a, b, c. Can you find out a graph with gamma equal to a, gamma nt equal to b, and gamma nc equal to c? Can you find out this? So what is the example for this? So I'm having one example. So gamma equal to 4, gamma nt equal to 5, gamma nc equal to 7. Okay, what is the condition we have? This maximum C value less than or equal to 2a. A is, I'm taking 4. So C value maximum 8. C value maximum 8. So that's why I'm taking gamma nc equal to 7. So gamma equal to 4, I am taking gamma nt equal to 5, gamma nc equal to 7. Can you find out a graph? So for this, first we have to draw. We have to consider only gamma. So since gamma equal to 4, we are drawing the graph Ka corona K1. What is Ka corona K4 corona K1 mean? Draw the complete graph on 4 vertices, and each and every vertex we have to join a pendant vertex. It is called corona K4. So for K gamma equal to 4, so we are drawing K4 corona K1. Suppose gamma equal to A means Ka corona K1 we have to draw. This is the first step. Now we have to think about gamma nt. What is gamma nt? 5 we have. We have to find out the difference between 5 and 4. We have to find out the difference between 5 and 4. It is 1. So only one end vertex we have to consider now. Corresponding to only one end vertex, we have to join two pendant vertices. Okay, so we are having the graph like this. So in this vertex, because 5 minus 4 is 1, we are joining these two vertices. After that, we have to see gamma nc equal to 7. This 7 minus 5. 7 minus 5 is 2. So the remaining 3 pendant vertices available in Ka corona K1, no, that one, only 2 vertices we have to consider. In that 2 vertices, we have add P4. So now we are getting this graph. So in this graph, what is gamma? Gamma value equal to 4. Because this vertex and this vertex, any one of these two vertices. Okay, so 4 vertices we need. What is gamma nt? 5 vertices we need. Gamma nc equal to 7. For path, easily we can find out gamma nt of P7 equal to 3. Gamma nt of P8 equal to 4. Gamma nt of P8 equal to 4. Hence, for a path, gamma nt of Pn is path means path on n vertices we have to take here. Gamma nt of Pn equal to upper integral n by 3 if n congruent to 1 mod 3. And otherwise, it is upper integral n by 3 plus 1. Easily we can verify this. Similarly, we can find out the gamma nt of C6 here. Easily we can find out this A and D. A and D are dominating all the vertices. A and D are dominating all the vertices. And BC and EF are available in NS. EF are available in NS. So this gamma nt of C6 equal to 2. Similarly, gamma nt of C8 equal to 4. So in general, we can have gamma nt of Cn equal to upper integral n by 3 plus 1 when n congruent to 2 mod 3. Otherwise, upper integral n by 3. Easily we can check this theorem. Now we have the lemma. One entity set means neighborhood total dominating. One entity set we have, we can find it a superset of that entity set. Is it again entity set? We can check. So first lemma we have a superset of a entity set is again a entity set. One entity set we have, we are adding extra one vertex outside from S, outside S, we can add it. Now we are getting the S union one vertex. So new set. This is a neighborhood total dominating set. Yes, it is a neighborhood total dominating set. So first lemma we have a superset of your entity set is again a entity set. Next, using this lemma only we have the theorem minimality condition. When we say that neighborhood total dominating set is a minimal. So a neighborhood total dominating set S of a graph G is a minimal entity set if and only if for every U available in S, one of the following true. Private neighborhood set of U comma S is not equal to empty. Pn of U comma S is not equal to empty. What is the meaning? It is a condition for dominating condition, dominating set condition. Every vertex available in S having at least one private neighbor, at least one private neighbor. Then second condition, it is for neighborhood condition, neighborhood total condition. Okay, there exists a vertex X available in N of S minus U. I'm removing U from S. Now we have the set S minus U. N of S minus U we can identify. N of S minus U, in that N of S minus U, we have to find out this condition. Nx intersection N of S minus U is equal to empty. What is the meaning? I am writing mathematically like this. What is the meaning? Ns containing no isolated vertex. From S, I am removing one vertex. Then it is S union U. That neighborhood set must containing an isolated vertex. Okay, so this is a minimality condition. So this is style we have any parameter, domination parameter we have, we are checking minimality condition, sometimes maximality condition. Now I have a graph. Let G be a graph with delta equal to n minus 1, then gamma nt of G equal to 1 R. Delta equal to n minus 1 means one vertex which is adjacent to remaining vertices. So in the following graph we can see we see a vertex which is adjacent with all other vertices. So what is delta here? Delta equal to n minus 1. So delta equal to n minus 1 means gamma nt of G is either 1 or 2. When we have 2, it is the first idea we have. So for the gamma nt of G equal to 2, when we have 2, delta is even n minus 1, one vertex is sufficient to dominate all the vertices. But we have gamma nt of G equal to 2. When it is possible, mean G has exactly one vertex V, only one vertex V with degree of V equal to n minus 1. And V is adjacent to a vertex of degree 1. So V is a support vertex. So G contains a support vertex of degree n minus 1. Exactly one support vertex of degree n minus 1. Automatically exactly only one. Okay, so G contains a support vertex of degree n minus 1. Then gamma nt of G compulsory. Suppose we are having spanning subgraph. What is the meaning of spanning subgraph? We know. Same vertex set, edge set is a subset of the original edge. Okay, so spanning subgraph. For spanning subgraph, we can find out gamma nt, neighborhood total domination number. So what is the relation between this neighborhood total domination number of a spanning subgraph and the original graph? So original graph is G, spanning subgraph is H. Then what is the relation we have? Gamma nt of G is less than or equal to gamma nt of H. If G is a disconnected graph with k component G1, G2, Gk, then gamma nt of G is each and every component we are finding gamma nt value, then we can add it. Each and every component we can find out a gamma nt value, then we can add it. Now we have to think about bounds. After the basic property, we are thinking about upper bound, lower bound, like that. No, any parameter, what are the bounds? So first one, all the domination number n is upper bound. Okay, so here also gamma nt equal to n, less than or equal to n always, more than n not possible. So gamma nt equal to n when it is possible. That is the first lemma. For a graph G, gamma nt equal to n if and only if G is m times k2. M times k2 means we are having the graph like this, k2, 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 we are drawing the graph. Okay, m times k2. M times k2 only, we are having gamma nt equal to n. And which graph having gamma nt equal to n minus 1? Which graph having gamma nt equal to n minus 2? We have the example. We have the theorem here. So gamma nt of G equal to n minus 1, then G equal to P3. Only for path on 3 vertices, gamma nt of G equal to n minus 1. So gamma nt of G equal to n minus 2, then G is any one of these graphs, C3, K13, K13 plus E, P4, C4, P5 or P5. G is available in this set of graphs. So like that, we can find out the upper bounds. After that, the upper bounds involving the maximum degree. So for a graph G, I am taking a graph G, then gamma nt of G is less than or equal to n minus delta plus 1. So upper bound is n minus delta plus 1. It is one upper bound we found. When these two are equal characterization, so when gamma nt of G equal to n minus delta plus 1, when it is possible, means the graph G is isomorphic to H. What is H? I explained that. The graph is isomorphic to H or S time K2 union H. Where H is any graph having a support vertex B with the degree of B equal to V of H minus 1. So G contain here or H contain here maximum degree vertex and which is as well as a support vertex. Like so in that graph, so now you have to see this following graph. This graph you have to see this graph, this vertex is a maximum degree vertex and it is a support vertex. So this is our graph H. Here I am having 4 times K2, S value 4 I am taking, 4 times K2. So it is a disconnected graph. It's a disconnected graph. What is a gamma nt value mean? We are having n minus delta plus 1. N minus delta plus 1 here. After that, already we have upper bound is n minus delta plus 1. Now we have to think about, is it available any lower upper bound? So now I have to impose another condition. Let G be a graph with delta n minus 1 and it should be a connected graph. Previously I am not taking connected graph. Now I am taking connected graph. So let G be a connected graph with delta less than n minus 1. So at least one vertex is not adjacent to all other vertices. Every vertex is not adjacent to at least one vertex. Like that. Okay, delta less than n minus 1. Then gamma nt is automatically n minus delta. Delta less than n minus 1 and connected graph means gamma nt is less than or equal to n minus delta. Further, when these two are equal, I am thinking characterization. I'm not characterization I'm not doing for all the graph, only tree I am thinking. For a tree with delta less than n minus 1, gamma nt of G equal to n minus delta. If and only if T can be obtained from a star. Star graph we know K1, n minus 1. Okay, so obtained from a star graph by subdividing k of its edges. Some edges we are subdividing only one time, or subdividing exactly one edge twice. I'm giving the example here. So this graph you have to see. This is a star graph. These vertices, these are the edges, three edges subdividing one time. This edge subdividing one time, this edge subdividing one time, this edge subdividing one time. This type of graph. Okay, even though you have to divide all the edges also, even though you have to divide all the edges also, that type of graph, what is gamma nt value n minus delta. And this is also a star graph obtained from the star graph, one edge subdivided two times by two vertices. Okay, subdivided two times, twice. So this graph also, what is gamma nt value n minus delta. Another one boundary involving the minimum degree delta. Let G be a conductor graph with a diameter of G equal to. What is the meaning of diameter? We know. Length of the largest path. Then gamma nt of G is less than or equal to 1 plus delta of G. And the bound is sharp. Bound is sharp for star graph. Bound is sharp for star graph. And another one theorem involving the delta and the domination number. If G is a conductor graph with the delta greater than or equal to 1, then gamma nt of G less than or equal to delta plus 1 by delta times gamma of G. These two theorems is an open problem for characterization. When gamma nt of G, second theorem you can see gamma nt of G here less than or equal to available in place of less than or equal to when it is equal, we can characterize. In place, so first theorem also in place of less than or equal to, we can replace by equal, characterize the corresponding graph. Now third bound, for a conductor graph G with n greater than or equal to 3, gamma nt of G less than or equal to upper integral n by 2. Gamma nt of G less than or equal to upper integral n by 2. So for characterizing this upper integral n by 2, gamma nt equal to upper integral n by 2, which graphs are having, we have some family of trees. So we define family of graphs T as follows. How we are defining? I'm explaining like this. Simple idea. It is subdivided star. Simple idea. Fk be the graph of order 2k minus 1 obtained from a star. Anything I'm writing. So basically, it is a subdivided star. We have to draw one star and each edge subdividing by a vertex. Each edge are subdividing by a vertex. So you have to see. I'm drawing a star. Each edge is subdividing by a vertex. It is called a subdivided star. I denote this by here k1 comma 4. I am taking k1 comma 4. That's why I denote this by fk. So this type of trees I have to collect. Okay, this is one family of trees. So now what is the characterization? Already we have gamma nt of G equal to upper integral n by 2. We are going to characterize. So in this case, gamma upper integral n by 2 means either f, when n is even number, it is n by 2. When n is odd number, it is n plus 1 by 2. So I have to characterize in two different ways. One is when it is equal to n by 2, and the second characterization when it is equal to n plus 1 by 2. Okay, two cases. So now, first case, we have, let G be a conductor graph of order n greater than or equal to 3, then gamma nt of G less than or equal to n plus 1 by 2 with equality. What is the meaning of this? Gamma nt of G equal to n plus 1 by 2. When it is possible, G is a cycle on 5 vertices or it is a subdivided star. Only two cases. One is cycle on 5 vertices or subdivided star. Next, we are thinking about when it is n by 2. When it is n by 2. In n by 2 also, we have one condition I am taking. G not equal to C5. Because already we have C5 mean it is n plus 1 by 2. So I don't have G not equal to C5. Be a conductor graph of order n greater than or equal to 3. With what is the degree of G greater than or equal to 2. Greater than or equal to 2. This is another condition I am taking. The gamma nt of G is less than or equal to n by 2. with equality if and only. So when gamma nt of g equal to n by 2 means if g equal to bi. So what is B1? It is C4. What is B2? This graph. B3? This graph. B4? This graph. B5? This graph. So only these 5 graphs we are having gamma nt of g equal to n by 2. But when it is possible, degree of minimum degree of g is degree of minimum degree. It is not only degree of g I am writing. It is delta of g. Minimum degree is greater than or equal to 2. Minimum degree is greater than or equal to 2. This is our delta of small delta. Minimum degree is greater than or equal to 2. Now we have the another one characterization for another one upper integral n by 2. We have to characterize this. For this, we are defining one family of trees. Let f naught, t naught, one arbitrary tree I am taking. It is denoted by t naught. Any tree you have to take. It is denoted by t naught. From t naught, we are getting the tree t naught. How we are getting the tree? Each and every vertex of t naught, we are adding a pendant vertex, adding a one vertex adjacent to that vertex, or adding a path on 3 vertices, adding P3, the center vertex of P3 will join. Anything we can do. We can do all the vertices adding P3 or all the vertices adding a pendant vertex, no problem. Or one pendant vertex, one P3, no problem. Okay, so we are getting the new tree. It is denoted by T1. Now in T1, we have to collect the L1. L1 is a set in T1. Set of leaves. Leaves mean pendant vertices. So only leaves I have to select. It is a 2 packing. 2 packing means distance between 2 leaves are more than 2. So like that, we more than 2. So minimum 3 we require. So like that, we have to collect the set. Only in that set we are adding or we are joining K2, 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 some number of K2s we have to add. So in the example, we can understand that. So new graph we are getting like that. So suppose I have, this is one arbitrary tree I am taking. For easy purpose, I am taking P4. T naught is P4. So P4 I am taking. So what I have to do? Each and every vertex in this T naught, I'm adding either one vertex or one P3. You have to see first vertex, I'm adding one pendant vertex. For this vertex, I'm adding one P3 and center vertex adjacent with this vertex. You can add all the vertex, pendant vertex, no problem. All vertex we are adding P3, no problem. Anything we can do. Okay, so what I'm going to do, first vertex I'm adding K1, we can say. Second vertex I'm adding P3, third vertex, one pendant vertex K1, and the last vertex P3. So now what is this? It is called T1. It is called T1. So now we are getting the new trees. It is also one family. Not everyone getting same tree. Okay, so everyone adding all the vertices we are adding pendant vertex, one type of tree. All the vertices we are adding P3, we are getting another type of tree. So a lot of trees we are getting. So it is one family. Now in this family, what we have to do, we are finding the L1 set of leaves which is 2 packing. So I have to consider this vertex. First vertex, I'm adding some number of K2. If I'm selecting this vertex, if I'm selecting this vertex, mean I can select this vertex or this vertex. Because what is the distance between these two vertices? You have to see this vertex and this vertices. What is the distance? It is more than 2. But I cannot select this vertex because what is the distance? Distance is 2. I cannot select this. I can select this vertex. I can select any one of these vertices. Okay. In these vertices, I'm adding some number of K2s. How I'm adding K2s? You can see. Like this. Okay, I'm adding K2s like this. So now this type of trees we have, this type of trees. So this type of trees, we have one big family. That family is denoted by T. That family is denoted by T. So this family we have to think about that. Now what I have, let T be a tree of order n greater than or equal to 4. tree mean automatically delta equal to 1. Previously delta equal to 2, no? Here delta equal to 1 possible. So gamma nt of t equal to n by 2, then t should be available in that family of trees. This we prove. But what is the open problem here? Here delta equal to 1 for only trees we proved. And previously delta greater than or equal to 2 we proved. Delta equal to 1 for any graph, still open problem. Delta equal to 1, you have to try for that. After that, after upper bound, any parameter, what we are thinking, Northern type result. Northern type result means it is sum of the value of the parameters for the graph and the complement of the graph. So here we have to take one graph. Let G be a graph with G and G bar have no isolated vertices. Then what is gamma nt of G plus gamma nt of G bar? It is less than or equal to n plus 2. Then when it is equal, characterization. Further, equality holds if and only if G or G bar is isomorphic to S times K2, where S greater than 1. So here G and G bar have no isolated vertices. A be disconnected. But next theorem what we extend, let G be a graph with G and G bar are connected. So automatically no isolated vertices, extra condition connected. Then what is the sum of this gamma nt of G and gamma nt of G bar? It is less than or equal to upper integral n by 2 plus 2 when diameter of G greater than or equal to 3. Diameter of G greater than or equal to 3 and upper integral n by 2 plus 3 when diameter of G equal to 2. When diameter of G equal to 2, this value is upper integral n by 2 plus 3. When diameter of G is greater than or equal to 3, this value is n by 2 plus upper integral n by 2 plus 2. Automatically, what is the next case we have? We can characterize the second theorem. First theorem already characterized. Second theorem we are characterizing. How to see here? First, from this, let G and G bar be connected graph of order n with the diameter of G and the diameter of G bar both are equal to 2. So different combination we are selecting. Both the diameter of G is 2, diameter of G bar also 2. Then gamma nt of G plus gamma nt of G bar equal to upper integral n by 2 plus 3. Already we know. Okay, from the previous theorem. When these are equal, when this is satisfied, then the G is isomorphic to or G equal to cycle on 5 vertices. Cycle on 5 vertices. Similarly, another combination, diameter of G and diameter of G bar greater than or equal to 3. Then what is the sum gamma nt of G and gamma nt of G bar, which is equal to upper integral n by 2 plus 2. Upper integral n by 2 plus 2. When it is equal, G is and G bar both are P4. Both are P4. Now what is the extra diameter of here? Diameter of G bar both are 2. Here diameter of G bar greater than or equal to 3. Next one is greater than or equal to 3, another one is equal to 2. So like that. Now to see, let G and G bar be connected graph of order n with the diameter of G greater than or equal to 3 and diameter of G bar equal to 2, such that gamma nt of G plus gamma nt of G bar equal to n by 2, upper integral n by 2 plus 2. Then if n is odd number, then G belongs to F. What is F? Subdivided star. Then n is even and delta greater than or equal to 2. Then G belongs to B3, B4, B5. B4, B3, B4, B5, these are like. So only these three graphs is satisfied. And in this family, it is also satisfied. Okay, so for this talk, I am using these 4 papers. The first paper is written by Professor Zarvam and myself. So in this paper only maximum introduction part we are writing. From this, Hennings and Rad continue bounds on neighborhood to total domination number, and they are characterized some characterization upper integral n by 2 and everything. And in these 2 papers they are characterized. Okay, one paper is not sufficient. One paper they are characterizing only for n by 2. Another one paper they are characterizing n plus 1 by 2. So theorem is very big theorem. I'm giving only statement one, but theorem proof is very big. So 2 papers is required. And the third one, neighborhood total domination and its complement is written by D.A. Mojer. So this 4 paper is involving in this talk. Thank you very much.